Welcome to the Bringing You Home podcast. We are a group of mortgage professionals with this strong desire to help everyone reach the American dream of homeownership. All of this while having fun, keeping it simple, and most importantly, bringing you home.
Jennifer, episode 1 of the Bringing You Home podcast.
That's so weird that you called me Jennifer. I just
right,
say that
because I usually call you Jenskis.
Yeah.
I know. No more introductory podcast. That's all done, right? It's funny because I'm trying to look at you there, but I can see you there.
I know. This is an awkward, we're trying out new things.
We are, right? We're just trying to get better.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so we looked at some statistics after our first podcast. First and foremost, we had about 30 downloads.
It went up.
Yeah, 30 downloads.
This morning was 25.
I know, but I just checked it right now. We got 30 downloads. Yeah.
That's pretty good. And we have 30 followers on Instagram also.
So maybe those 30 followers are the ones that listen to it. I mean, I might have downloaded it 4 or 5 times, but who knows?
Created 5 different fake accounts on Spotify.
No, no bots here. But that's just on Buzzsprout, right? So that doesn't include what the stuff we got on YouTube. So.
Oh, okay.
Little by little, right? We're going to continue to get better.
Yes.
I hope so.
That's the goal. I mean.
That is, right? But, I mean, really, who wants to hear about us, like the introductory podcast? Now we're actually going to talk about things that I think will benefit everybody.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I agree.
That's all.
No one wants to listen to anything about us.
Right?
Right. I'm done listening to myself.
I'm not going to say it.
Thanks.
But I am excited to get this off the ground. I'm very disappointed in the fact that the one TikTok I did create about ducks got only 5 likes. And I mean, who doesn't love ducks?
But we got some feedback.
It obviously wasn't positive. It wasn't awful.
Yeah, it was awful video. Reel, TikTok, whatever you call it.
All right.
Maybe next time. We're all about getting better. We're all about getting better. There you go.
We are getting better. Just for the audience, the next TikTok I did, she said I had too many filters on. I don't even know how to do a filter, but whatever. Anyhow,
liar.
We're going to go ahead and move on with the real content here, and that's home mortgages, right?
Yep.
Real estate, home mortgages.
That's why we're
here. Our topic today is going to be...
why should you own a home?
And before we do that, though, I think it's time for the
market update.
I love it. That's the longest intro ever. Anyhow, I did want to, before we start talking.
Our first segment, the market update. Mm-hmm.
There you go. I wanted to go ahead and give the audience just a really quick, non-technical at this time, non-technical market update. As you've probably heard, read, or seen, interest rates are going up. Some have come to me, some real estate agents said, well, I think rates are going down. I said, yeah. In the last 2 days, they've been going up. So, it's still a pretty volatile market, but the last couple of days we have seen rates continue to go up. And on the real estate side, though, we are seeing a lot of houses come down in price.
Yes, I've seen that.
Right, a lot of price reductions. And I think the reason for that is as rates go up, prices come down, it maintains an affordability factor.
Right.
And so, yes, right. I mean, that's going to kind of segue us into what we're talking about, right? Why should you own a home? And as we move forward with this podcast, we'll learn some different aspects of buying a house, when to go into escrow, when it's time to go get a real estate agent, all kinds of stuff. And from some of the feedback that I did get from some of our audience,
30 people.
The 30 people. Well, those are the 30 people that actually subscribed or liked, right? But you made a pretty astute comment about followers. What was that?
We have 30 followers on Instagram.
Gosh, no. See, this is the second-rate podcast. We really didn't talk about this. I put her on the spot, and she didn't.
What?
She didn't
I don't
follow
even know
right.
what we're talking
but
about.
But she said that people don't like to follow, even though they listen, right?
Oh, yes.
Why is that?
Do you want my honest opinion?
I do. I want your honest opinion.
I think it's an ego thing.
It's an ego thing?
Yeah, people don't want to we went over this. It's a lot. It's
Well,
it's not even on this topic, so I
all right,
can't get
my
into
bad.
it.
People, stop having an ego.
Yeah.
Like and follow.
Yeah.
Actually,
it's
you
so
don't even have to
easy.
listen. Just like and follow.
Yeah.
All right.
A
No.
like costs you nothing.
Right.
Zero.
Agreed.
Zero. I can't really make a zero from my angle, but zero.
But some people that that we both talked to said that they were looking forward to hearing as we progressed.
Yeah.
You know how
And they want more content.
they want more content. And they
Yeah.
want to see. They think the idea is great. So hopefully we can provide not only great content but great information that's going to help everybody.
Yeah.
And it does sound like people are interested in it. So I'm excited. I'm excited. So our first topic was, why should you own a home? So I'm curious. I've owned a couple of homes.
Right.
And you have not.
I have not.
So I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on as not having owned a home, because I have some very deep thoughts on this and strong beliefs regarding it, and that's quite frankly why I'm in this industry. So, but let's start with you. What are your thoughts on that?
On owning a home.
Yeah. What I mean, is it important?
Yeah, it's super important.
Is it important for? And I don't want to bring age into it, but is it important for your generation? Because I keep hearing and reading that your generation really
It's like
isn't
holding off.
Yeah, like they're
Yeah.
not super. Like they want to be more transient, right? Even in jobs, they're moving
Right.
more often, and so I'm just curious what your take is on.
You know what's so funny? Because I was gonna say, I think as I'm getting older, I've now found how important it is to own a home, and just start figuring out what I need to do in order to get there. Maybe like within the next year. So it's I'm actually now, as I'm getting older, and age is a factor in this, I'm now thinking, I really need to buckle down and figure out how to own a home and what I need. Obviously I know what I need, but I need to really figure out like the numbers and all that stuff to start the process.
Well, it's not really an age thing, right? But
I think it is.
Well, yeah, I think it is because we mature
Yes.
as we move on, but
And
I think everyone matures at a different point
Yeah.
in their lives, right? And there's people that I know that are 40 years old and probably shouldn't own a home because they're just not responsible enough. I mean, I'm just going to be honest.
It's a big
about it.
responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, right.
I mean, some would say I shouldn't own a home, but there's others who, at a very young age, are ready to do so.
Right.
Right. And, I can share a quick story
Go for
as
it.
to why I think it's important to own a home. I think the most basic, right? Well, I think the most basic is shelter, right? We all need somewhere to
Shelter, yeah.
we all need
Don't
somewhere to
live in
live
your
under. Even
car.
though anywhere you drive nowadays, everyone creates shelter.
Yeah.
On the side of the freeway, on
Oh
the side
my
next to
goodness.
McDonald's. I mean, it doesn't even matter anymore. We create shelter wherever we want, but to have a structurally sound shelter that's going to provide you other opportunities later on in life, I think that's important.
Yeah.
That's the most obvious. The second, in my opinion, is just the financial freedom that it's going to offer you.
What do you mean by that?
Well, and let me segue into my story.
Oh,
So
go ahead.
I was 23 years old, and I had an opportunity to purchase a condominium from it was given to me in Santa Ana, and it was at a price of $72,000. So, can you believe that?
Can you?
Now you can't even buy a car for
I was going to say,
$72,000.
what year was that?
I was 23. It's around 97.
Aw, I was one.
And just brought me down.
Go ahead.
So
Continue.
I had an opportunity to buy this house or this condo, and I was 1 year into the mortgage business, but I had some work history before that, so I could have logistically purchased it.
Uh-huh.
I would have met the guidelines, and but I decided against it. I was kind of scared. I'm like, I'm 23 years old. I'd rather waste my money on whatever.
Because you weren't mature.
Yeah. I wasn't mature enough, right? I wasn't forward thinking. I'm like, I could go to the bar, I could go to the club, I could do whatever I want. I love to eat. We talked about that the first podcast. There was just so much stuff. I could buy a different car. I mean,
Yeah, I get that.
and it was my first real job. So just the fact that I had some money coming in
Yeah.
kind of changed my life, right? or the way I thought about things. But I didn't buy that house. The funny story is, just to cut to the chase, about 2.5 years later, 2.5 to 3 years later, I was working in an office in Santa Ana, and I had a customer come in and get pre-approved for a home loan. And they actually ended up purchasing that exact same condo.
Oh my God.
To the unit.
Wow.
That I passed on.
Yeah.
And guess how much it sold for? 2.5 to 3 years later.
I have no idea.
I remember
so that
it.
was like what?
2000.
Yeah.
I remember it vividly because it sold for $293,000.
Oh my
$293,000.
Oh my.
Could you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah. To this day, it's probably the one investment that I look back on and say what could have been, right? Because as a 25-year-old with 190, whatever, I'm bad at math, but $200,000 in my pocket.
Yeah.
$220,000 in my, I mean, that's, things could have gone bad at that point as well. But think about where the other investments that I could have made.
Right. I was going to say, so what did you think about that? When you seen like how much more it was, the price?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was disappointed that I didn't take it, but I think at the end of the day, and the more and more I've thought about it over the next 25 years, it's an opportunity lost, right?
Yeah.
And we think about the fact that houses cost so much right now.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing that when I talk to my buyers or my prospective buyers, or when we're speaking to loan officers and we're just talking about this in general, I think it always comes back to this. The only way to build wealth in this country, in my humble opinion, right, is to own property.
Yep.
And once you own property, you keep property. You don't panic. So I'll give you another example. In 2007, market's crashing.
Right.
And I put a house up for sale. And
wait, how many houses did you have at that point?
That was my second house.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, that was my first house.
Okay.
And it was 2007, and I want to put it up on the market, and I delay about 30 days. The houses were selling for about $700 at that point. 30 days later, I put it on the market. It sells about 60 days later for about $395.
Oh my God.
So, it's all about timing, right?
I was going to say it's a gamble, right?
It is a gamble, but I did buy the house for $200,000. So I guess, I still ended up okay. But the point of the story is, if I would have kept the house, I could probably sell the house for $1 million today. And
it's a gamble, like I said.
It's a gamble. But so I tell my customers, I say, look, if you can afford the payment, don't worry about the price of the house. Worry about the neighborhood it's in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Worry about, are you going to be happy there if the price goes down by $400,000? And the reason I'm comfortable saying that is because eventually that's going to go up, right? It's the market goes like this.
Yeah.
For those of you on YouTube, I'm kind of doing the wave.
A little worm.
Or a little worm, right? Not physically, because I wouldn't be able to get up. But the market, it just kind of wiggles around like a worm, but it always comes up, right? And so, like I said, that house today is selling for $1 million. That condo that I could have bought is probably selling for $700,000. But so I think, obviously, to get back to our original question, now that I've told two stories.
Yeah, you're full of stories today.
I am. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Shelter, I think, is the most important reason to own a home, right? Second, I think it's just an investment in your future. Because even now I own a home, and I've been able to take out a home equity line of credit so that I had some financial freedom, different things I wanted to do. Sometimes it's just to pay off credit cards because I spend a lot of money.
Oh my goodness!
But whatever it is, it just provides a lot. A lot of financial freedom. So I think those to me are the biggest reasons why. And as I mentioned, I think just building long-term financial wealth comes with owning a home, and you can do so just owning one home. But I think that you can leverage that into owning more homes as you go.
Yeah.
And it's great to start at your age. So, I mean, if you can start at your age, what are you, 21?
Close,
right? So if you can,
30. That's so sad.
If you could start at your age and continue to build that portfolio, as some of the loan officers in this office have done. I think you're going to see how much that's going to open up for you in the future. So, my advice to everybody is buy. Don't worry about all the other stuff. The other stuff will work itself out. And it's amazing how you can adjust your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right. To the change.
I think because once you get into a mortgage, you realize that is your priority, right? Like you really, like this is your home, right? Like this is your one place. And like you said, you adjust your life to make it work, right?
Yeah. I mean, you really do. And then, like I said, maybe it's, I have 2 Starbucks a day. So maybe you cut it down to 1 a day.
Or 0. I can only imagine how much. I don't even want to get into that now.
I know. But you do adjust. You figure out how to do it. But anyhow, I think those are some ideas. But how about, I think you wanted to kick off another segment, and I think that's going to maybe chime a little bit more into what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's going to bring in everyone in our office. Office update, which I'm super excited about because I went around the office and I asked everyone.
And this is your segment, right?
Yeah, this is my segment, Office Update. So I'll bringing a little bit of what we do here in the office. Sometimes it's fun stuff. Today I took a poll. So I don't know. It's just random things. But for today's Office Update, I did go around and ask everyone, why should you own a home? And I actually enjoyed everyone's responses because they were all different. No one person had the same. Well, a couple of people actually. So some said because it was something for myself and my family. And I really like that one because, especially for your family, like I'm at this, or my mom is closer to the end of her mortgage. So she's almost done paying it off. And she's like, this is for my family. Even though we're all older, she still says this is for my family. So you can only imagine how long it's been as she still thinks about her family. So I really like that answer. Someone else said it's an investment.
Which we've talked about.
Right. A retirement plan. And then one loan officer said, real estate leads to wealth. And I think that's what you were talking about, right?
Which loan officer was that?
Jerome. He's so wise. He's wise beyond his years.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a great loan. Everyone will get to meet Jerome at one point here.
Yes. He has a great Instagram. I will tag it in the description so everyone can follow him also.
Please. He gets more likes than my ducks.
Everyone gets more likes than your duck. Someone else said freedom for my family, more space, and privacy. I think that was a big answer, privacy. Everyone said privacy, or at least I said privacy, and a couple other people said privacy. And then financial security, passive income. So I like that one.
Yeah, and we'll talk a lot about that. We'll talk about, as we move forward, how to leverage that.
And then someone else said tax write-off.
But
that's the truth.
That is
the truth. And then that person also said you don't have to deal with tenant rules. So
yeah.
So I guess that's a good answer also. I actually like that one. And then someone said stop paying someone else's mortgage. Facts.
That's facts. Is that what you said?
Facts.
There you go. Funny story. I have a friend of mine, and they were renting, and I think their rent. My numbers aren't exact, but I think their rent, in order to stay in their same unit, went up from like $2,800, and now they wanted them to pay like $4,500. I don't even know if that's legal, but
that's awful.
There's obviously some areas with no rent control.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, that's crazy. You should buy a house.
That's right? Your mortgage.
That's more than most people's mortgage.
Yeah.
So those are just some ideas, I think, why it's important to own a home.
Yeah.
But I think to summarize, right? First off, everyone in our office is pretty smart, right? Because they give you some pretty good ideas.
And very good answers. I like them all.
Better than the one answer I was going to give you.
Do you still want to share it?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
If people buy homes, we are both going to stay employed. So
facts. Back to the facts.
That is important.
That's funny.
And they are going to benefit from it as well.
Yeah.
Right? So
I agree.
so to summarize, right? I think based on all those responses, I think number one, it's shelter. Number two, financial freedom.
Yep.
Right. Number three is the privacy. And it's your own space.
Yeah. I don't think you can beat that anywhere else.
They don't call it the American dream for no reason.
Right.
Right. To be able to own a home. And at some point, like I said, it creates wealth. I mean, we've seen homes go from, I think my parents, when they immigrated to this country, had an opportunity to buy a house in Huntington Beach for $32,000. Oh
gosh! And now
it's a big mistake, right? They didn't buy it, but I wouldn't be here on a podcast with you guys. So
we like their decision then.
But that house is probably worth a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Again, it's a gamble.
It's a gamble, but take the gamble.
But do it, right?
Yeah,
I agree.
And if you're working with a good real estate agent, a good loan officer, and just good people, and you trust those in your group.
Yeah.
I think, or your village, I think, is like the
your tribe.
Your tribe is the popular term nowadays, and if you bring in a very good loan officer and a very good real estate agent, they're going to give you the pros and cons.
Yeah.
Of buying a house, buying a particular house, of staying in a price range that's comfortable for you. And if you're being given the proper guidance, I always believe it's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
I think you should buy a house.
I agree.
So I think our goal for you is to buy a house.
You're telling me
in the next 6 months. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
We're gonna get you to think about buying a house in the next 6 months.
I have a good tribe.
You do have. They all work here.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but
you're right.
To our audience, I think, this was a very basic question. I think when we went around and told people, hey, we're going to talk about this, they're like, of course you should buy a house.
Yeah.
I think it's a good place for us to jumpstart, right? Why should you do this?
They always say you need to know the why before you get into anything or start any endeavor.
They do.
And that's your why right there. We just listed a bunch of reasons why.
We did, and probably not all of them.
And probably
it was a very minimal amount,
yeah.
But I think there is. Do it if you have an opportunity to do it. Do it,
or figure out where to start.
If nothing else, contact us.
Yes.
Put it. Give us your number in the comments. We'll go ahead and filter you out to. Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
But find out how to reach out to us.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you're listening, you probably know us somehow.
Right.
And we'll go ahead and pass you off to one of our lenders here in the office, one of our loan officers, and they will take care of you. Somehow or another, I'm running out of time on this Zoom, but
I think we touched everything for today.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
You did a great job.
Thank you. We are still going back and forth on who should moderate this. I believe she should. She believes I should. So we're trying to do this together, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to co-host. But to be fair, she's also running the board, so all those fancy noises and sounds that you hear.
I do a lot.
You do a lot. So I appreciate that.
I think you should
moderate. And I appreciate that. Although you did not go get me a sandwich today. But hey, what are you going to do?
This guy.
Anyhow, to everybody, please like, subscribe.
Share.
If you just happen to be by me, I'll pull up the podcast for you. You can click 5 stars. You don't have to listen to it.
Don't even listen to it. Wait, on Spotify, you actually have to play it and then put the 5-star rating.
Just play it while you're sleeping, and then when it's done, click it. So,
5 stars.
No, we look forward to more comments. We look forward to, again, engaging with our audience a little bit. I'm excited, Jen. This was our first episode. I'm excited about what we can share going forward. I promise the content on Instagram and TikTok will get better.
No more ducks.
No more ducks. Anyhow, I appreciate everybody listening, taking a little time out of their day. And I think we're leaving here from the WTF studios. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank you all for tuning in. Glad we were able to provide you with some useful information while bringing a little joy to your lives. Like, subscribe, and share on all social media platforms. We want to interact with you by answering your questions and having you as part of the community. We look forward to bringing you home.